Hi there. Today I'd like to talk about the kiddie pools that we've had for our ducks, as well as small formed pools, and the different pros and cons that we have found over the last 5 years of these different types of pools that we can have. Just as I started this video, Big Poof and Roundy showed up. They're curious what's going on. And that's Gray over there in this locked up enclosure. He's been a bad boy today, taking too much effort with the girls. And before I get started, I want to talk about this. This has been very helpful. We put this at the end of the hoses that we used to fill up the ponds. It's just a brass splitter, but it weighs down the hose so that the hose doesn't fall out of the pond. We don't have to use other things like bricks to try to position under the hose, which only really works temporarily most of the time. I'm going to position this in the pool in a way that the water is going to come downward. So it's not going to be positioned like this and the water is spraying up and out of the pool. Let me talk about this pool first. This is a 70-gallon poly tank pool. It's on the middle range of how expensive a pool could be. This particular one had some bars on the end, which I guess we kind of filed down, we cut down, because we didn't want them harming our ducks' delicate little legs. So this one wasn't the ideal one, but it was in the middle range of affordability. And it's a nice, big, sturdy pool. We do use some bricks in a way that we've tied them together to form some steps so that it's easy to put this in and take it out. This is particularly for Big Poof, who can be a little bit clumsy. There was one time in particular when she was having a big molt with her feathers, or wing feathers, and she couldn't get out of the pool at night. The next morning she was soaked and just standing tall, and we didn't want that to ever happen to her again. While this pool is filling up, let me start telling you about some of the other pools we have. For the boys, right now we're keeping them separated from the girls, and we just have a couple of small pools. There's this steel one that we're using. This isn't a very good option because it gets a little bit rusty after holding water for long periods of time. I'm using that for a long time, so it's holding up long enough, but this poly pool is maybe a little bit more durable for keeping water in, so we like that option better. It's also a little bit shallower, so it's easier for them to get into and out of. No matter what type of ledge there is, ducks will try to stand on the ledge. So it's nice when the ledge is at least comfortable for their feet, like this one. The steel one, it's not very comfortable for them. It's just a very thin and kind of strong edge there. Actually, this galvanized steel tank is okay for holding water. We've had this for a few years and you can see how this doesn't rust, but this is just too tall for it to be comfortable for the ducks to get into. We'd have to build a serious ramp or some sort of situation that we just don't have, but this could work out well for other people. It looks like I stopped this pool just in time, so I won't have to take any water out of this with 5-gallon buckets. I like to have 1 or 2 inches, maybe even 3 inches at the top of the pool where there's not water there. That's way the ducks do not splash water out of the pool when they're swimming and having fun. But it's nice to have the water close to the ledge at least, because that helps them be able to swim fast and jump out of the water with their swimming motion. If the water's too low, it gets harder for them to do that. That sums up the pools that we have for the ducks overnight. This larger enclosure is for 6 girls and the smaller enclosures for the 2 boys right now. So that's the situation we have at the moment. And now I'm going to take you over to the pools that we have during the daytime for the ducks. This pool we found on the side of the road for free, and I really like this pool, so I've researched what brand it is and tried to find it to buy another one again, but they don't make this anymore, although I did find what brand it was. And so the reason I like this is because it has a long ledge, and it's actually a shallow pool, which the ducks just like being in. So this is not really a swimming pool, it's more of a wading pool for them, but they like doing that too. And it's easy to tip over. We don't have to get a sub pump to empty this pool, so it's nice. We can move it around the yard easily. And so that green one was a hard plastic pool, which is also nice. It's going to be durable. It's going to last a long time. Now this is a soft plastic pool. This soft plastic pool has a larger ledge, so that's kind of nice. It's easier for the ducks to stand on. But as with any soft plastic pool, it will wear down over time. It will get holes. You can fix the holes with glue and silicone temporarily, but for us, about 2 years later, it's just not going to be worth the hassle anymore, and you're going to end up throwing that in the trash. So it's not a long-term solution, but it is the cheapest way to get started. And we first got started with 3 of these cheap pools that we found for free on the side of the road, so that was actually a nice way to get started, low cost. We did build a small ramp for the ducks to be able to get into the small plastic pool, so that's just a convenience for them. There's no ramp on the inside of the pool to get out. The ducks have been doing fine. With the larger plastic pools, it might be more necessary, but you just got to see what works best for you. Now that I'm ready to empty these big black pools the next day, I have got the sub pump set up, and I'm going to water some fruit trees with the water. So this is a bit of a lot of work to use all the water this way, but we do garden with ducks, and using and reusing the water is part of the things that we do in our garden here. The smaller black pool here, we actually received as a gift from one of our neighbors. I believe it's fiberglass, so it's also very sturdy, but it's not plastic, and relatively about the same amount of weight as working with the plastic pool. This other pool is 120 gallons. It's our largest pool. The ducks often like to do some underwater swimming in here when they get excited, and it's clean water. This pool we picked up from just a big box store. We looked at suppliers and whether we could order them directly, and we just didn't really see an option in our area. Another thing to note about this particular pool is that it has a little lip over here and on the other side, and the ducks like standing on that. It's kind of nice for them to have that area, but it made it a lot harder to dig out this hole and have the hole in the right dimensions. So if I were to do it again, I might just choose something easier, just a big, large, circular pool. But it is nice for the ducks. So it just depends on the amount of work you're willing to put into it and to maintain it. In order to dig out the holes for these pools, we dug through clay and gravel, because this used to be a gravel driveway. So with digging through gravel, I recommend a pickaxe and then a shovel once you get to the clay as well. The downside is that the hole does tend to eventually grow larger, so we're backfilling it with some straw, and this will probably work for a good while until we decide to plant a tree or something here and dig a different hole somewhere else. Or maybe we'll put something here like some logs or bricks to make it a little bit more permanent around the pool. We'll see. We do like having the grass and some natural things next to the ducks, but there might be a better way to fully design that. And then it's as simple as tipping out the rest of the water, and then the ducks will really enjoy playing in that. love to hear about your small pond solutions for your ducks. And if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comment section as well. Let's make the comment section a resource for everybody.